Police stopped a knife-wielding man from disrupting a rally for Chen, the DPP candidate for Taipei mayor. Radicals of Taiwan's pro-independence movement. We take a look at the Taiwan state-building party and their standing in next week's local elections. U.S. officials sound the alarm after China's submarines are equipped with new weapons capable of reaching the continental United States.
I'm Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus, and we're here at the Taoyuan Leopards basketball game where NBA veteran Dwight Howard is about to debut in the T1 Professional Basketball League. What did the fans think and how did he do? I'll have that for you shortly.
A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Betty Chen. There's less than a week to go before Taiwan's local elections. In Taipei, candidates for mayor have held rallies to try and win over voters. Despite one attempt to disrupt campaigning, police have managed to keep order. But as John Van Tres reports, the race is anything but quiet.
Tackled by police before a political campaign event. The man in this video was arrested after brandishing a knife and threatening to harm himself. The incident took place just before a rally for Chen, the Democratic Progressive Party's candidate for Taipei mayor. Police have described the man who was arrested as mentally unstable. He now faces charges for violating the Social Order Maintenance Act. Later in the rally, Chen spoke out against the threat of political violence.
台湾经不起撕裂，台湾经不起对立。我们要把这个风气把它转变过来。我们坚定投我们支持的人，但不要仇恨对方。
Chen's rally went ahead without further incident, but the mayoral election is fast approaching, and the political sparring between the candidates has been ramping up. Chen was the ruling DPP health minister during the COVID-19 pandemic. His opponents are now focusing in on his handling of the COVID vaccine rollout. They say he blocked the purchase of imported doses to boost Taiwan's homegrown Medigen vaccine. Jiang Wan'an, Chen's Kuomintang rival, went so far as to claim the ruling DPP is covering up Chen's alleged past missteps.
现在薛瑞元为了护航陈时中，如法炮制，炮制谎言，民进党上下甚至全部一致赞同，凸显了民进党的堕落。
Taiwan will go to the polls for its local elections on November 26th. As the day draws nearer, Chen's rivals are hoping that evoking memories of the pandemic and the DPP's handling of COVID will help win voters to their side. Alex Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
The Taiwan State-Building Party represents the most radical wing of pro-independence politics in the country. The party saw success in 2020's elections, winning a key legislative seat. But their momentum has stalled since then, and their sides are lower going into the 2022 local elections. Leslie Liao reports.
With the flick of a lighter, the flag is set on fire. The police rush in to stop it, but it's too late. The Taiwan State-Building Party has destroyed the emblem of their rivals, the opposition Kuomintang. The symbol is part of Taiwan's national flag, but the people burning it call themselves patriots. They say the Kuomintang is colluding with China.
当中国的专制入侵台湾的时候，台湾将不保，而中国国民党将是跟中国里应外合最大的这个投降派。
The Taiwan State-Building Party is one of the most radical groups in Taiwan's pro-independence movement. But they share common ground with Taiwan's ruling party, which has more moderate views.
The Taiwan State-Building Party has a very good relationship sometimes with the DPP, and that you can kind of see these endorsements at least.
The State-Building Party started out as a blog in 2008. Party chair Chen began writing about Taiwan's sovereignty while he was studying in the Netherlands. Chen and his fellow bloggers were alarmed when they saw KMT President Ma Ying-jeou elected to a second term in office. They saw him as a threat to Taiwan's sovereignty, so they formed a group called the Radical Wings to fight back. And they registered it as a political party in 2016.
They only started running for office in 2018. And in 2018, they actually didn't win any local seats.
The following year, the Radical Wings changed their name to the Taiwan State-Building Party. A year later, the party landed its first major victory.
2020 was their first ever actual victory with Chen Bo-wei winning in Taichung.
Chen Bo-wei won a legislative seat in central Taiwan. He ousted the KMT incumbent Yan Kwan-hun, whose family had held the position since 2008. But it didn't end well. Voters recalled Chen a year later, making him the first elected legislator to be removed from power in Taiwan. In June, Chen left the state-building party due to internal friction, and that left the party weaker than before.
Now that Chen Bo-wei is gone, I don't know how many endorsements we're going to see between the DPP and the TSP. And without that, I think they are in a position where without sort of these regular DPP endorsements, I don't know that they'll be able to enjoy the kind of momentum that they even had back in 2020.
Without the help of Chen Bo-wei, who was once their most promising star, the Taiwan state-building party is facing an uphill battle. Now they're looking to build the party from the ground up. This year, they have about 24 candidates running for city and county councilor positions all over Taiwan. Patrick Chen and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
It's the last week before Taiwan's local elections, but not everyone will be able to vote. The country's pandemic rules mean people who catch COVID-19 now won't be allowed to cast their ballots. As Eric Gao explains, this could stop around 70,000 people from voting.
The results of one of these tests could determine who can or cannot cast their ballot in Taiwan's local elections on November 26th. Under the country's current regulations, people infected with COVID-19 must isolate at home for at least 5 days. That means anyone who becomes infected starting Monday will not be allowed out to vote. Those caught violating the rules face fines of up to $64,000. These restrictions have sparked a wave of criticism. Many are concerned they could impact the outcome of the elections.
有问题是应该要帮他解决，而不是说用重罚来威吓他说不要出来投票。选举的人，那他的票数，比如说差100票，可是你确诊者不能投票的人，可能如果是1000个，那这个就会造成很大的问题。
Earlier estimates projected that the COVID restrictions could keep up to 300,000 people away from the voting booths. More recently, that figure had been revised down to about 70,000. Now, there are concerns that some people may not report their COVID infections so they can go out and vote.
一定有的，觉得现在大家其实都已经放松了，他们可能觉得只是发烧，然后就吃个止痛药退烧，然后就出来了。
为了那一票，要懂得保护自己。
Taiwan is looking to ease its COVID regulations later this month. But for now, health officials are sticking to the strict quarantine rules, even if that means that some people won't be able to take part in the democratic process. As Maya Zhou and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
TSMC founder Morris Chang says the semiconductor manufacturing giant will produce its most advanced chips in the United States. Speaking on his return from the APEC summit in Thailand, where he represented Taiwan, Chang said TSMC will build facilities capable of producing 3-nanometer chips. It has already started work on a 5-nanometer plant in the southern U.S. state of Arizona. Chang also said the APEC meeting in Bangkok was a fruitful one.
台湾的这个角度来说我也觉得我们是有相当这个完美的成果。
The government of northern Taiwan's Yilan city is coming under fire for disclosing sensitive information about a military base. The city government made public renovation plans for a naval facility. Banners showing the project's layout were posted around construction sites for publics to see. They shared information included precise locations for planned storage facilities, kitchens, and barracks. A candidate for Keelung City Councilor has criticized authorities for not exercising proper discretion.
配置图就算非重大机密，也不能轻易公开。基隆市政府为了宣扬政绩，大方公布新的海军营区配置图，直接奉送给对岸的敌人重要情资。
Authorities in northeastern Taiwan have detected the country's first case of H5N1 bird flu. A farm in Yilan County reported a wave of deaths among its ducks last week. Animal inspection officials ran tests on birds' waste and confirmed the presence of the virus. They culled over 5,000 ducks on Sunday to try and stop the disease in its tracks. Authorities are inspecting other facilities within a 5-kilometer radius of the farm. H5N1 is a highly contagious strain of influenza that affects both humans and other animals. A movie about the plight of migrant workers has claimed the Best Documentary Award at the Golden Horse Awards this weekend. Details after the break.
Taiwan heads to the polls. One of the most vibrant democracies in Asia is making decisions that will affect the future. We have reporters on the ground getting to know the candidates, covering Taiwanese election culture to catch the true pulse of Taiwan. Join us on November 26th for live results, in-depth analysis, and all the election stories that matter. Decision 2022, only on TaiwanPlus.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. U.S. defense officials say China has armed its fleet of nuclear submarines with missiles capable of hitting the continental U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Beijing could be aiming to use threats of military force to resolve its disputes. Jaime Okan has more.
This is the Type 94 submarine, one of 6 of its kind in the Chinese fleet. Already one of China's most advanced nuclear-powered submarines, these vessels recently had a major upgrade. U.S. defense officials have confirmed that the submarines can now carry nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs. This means that they could pose a threat from thousands of kilometers away. The Chinese submarines usually operate in the South China Sea. Before now, their armament would have only been capable of reaching Hawaii, which is over 3,000 kilometers from the U.S. mainland. But the new ICBMs have a far greater range, one that could reach almost half of the continental United States. This has rattled American officials. On Saturday, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin condemned Beijing's actions as a threat to the security of the Indo-Pacific region. Austin compared China's increasing militarization to that of Russia, which is currently embroiled in its unprovoked invasion with neighboring Ukraine.
Beijing, like Moscow, seeks a world where might makes right, where disputes are resolved by force, and where autocrats can stamp out the flame of freedom.
But these developments are part of a wider trend. China has been stepping up its military presence in Asia in recent years. This has been particularly prolific near the borders of Taiwan, which China considers part of its territory. Experts say that the threat of nuclear weapons by China could be a deterrent to keep outside forces from intervening if Taiwan were attacked. U.S. officials have also made it clear that they're concerned that the war in Ukraine may be a foreshadowing of what could happen in Asia.
Now, the ripples of Russia's invasion have traveled far, far beyond Europe. And Putin's war has underscored the challenge that we face in the Indo-Pacific, where the PRC is also pushing for something very far from our vision of a free and stable and open international system.
China's military continues to operate warships and fighter planes near Taiwan. Both the U.S. and Taiwan hope these aggressions will not intensify and potentially lead to an all-out conflict. Klein Wong and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
Hong Kong's top official John Lee has tested positive for COVID-19. Lee is currently in isolation and will work from home, according to his office. The Hong Kong chief executive tested positive after returning from the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Thailand. Lee met with world leaders, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, at a 4-day event. The pair were photographed together, not wearing masks. The UN's COP27 climate summit has ended in Egypt with no agreement on reducing fossil fuel use. The conference went 2 days over schedule amid fierce debate. In the end, richer nations agreed to pay for damage and losses brought on by climate change in poorer countries. But a broader consensus on cutting emissions remained out of reach. The president of last year's climate conference said he was disappointed. He warned time is running out to keep global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels.
Emissions peaking before 2025, as the science tells us, is necessary. Not in this text. Clear follow-through on the phase down of coal. Not in this text. A clear commitment to phase out all fossil fuels. Not in this text. And the energy text weakened in the final minutes. Friends, I said in Glasgow that the pulse of 1.5 degrees was weak. Unfortunately, it remains on life support.
Taiwan's Forestry Bureau is using wood from tree plantations to create carbon-negative furniture. Bureau officials say the aim of the show is to boost Taiwan's forestry industry while cutting carbon emissions. Stosh Butler reports.
Stools made from various trees native to Taiwan hang in the air above a map of the country, formed from 17 kinds of wood chip. Everything here is made from plantation wood, meaning it's carbon neutral or even carbon negative.
我们这边所使用的这些国产木材都是人造林的国产木材，所以呢，材料本身它就是一个固碳的材料，所以当我们在使用它的时候，是把这个大气里面的这些二氧化碳，透过材料的部分把它吸附二氧化碳，形成木材，然后为我们所用。
The exhibition is the result of a collaboration between the Forestry Bureau and National Taipei University of Technology. And the Bureau wants the people of Taiwan to embrace this kind of artisanal, sustainable product.
我们希望推动生活林业，那也就是让人工林里头，不管是木材或者是其他的这些非木材的物质，或像精油，能够进入到我们台湾每一个人的生活层面里头。
Officials hope they can boost demand for the products and, in turn, bring down carbon emissions towards Taiwan's net zero goal. The show launched here in Taipei is a small but meaningful step towards that more sustainable future. Patrick Chen and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
The film that won Best Documentary at this year's Golden Horse Awards put the plight of Taiwan's migrant workers in the spotlight. And Miles to Go Before I Sleep looks at a police shooting of a runaway migrant laborer in 2017. Our reporter Yu Jing Huang spoke with director Tsai Tsung-lung to find out why he made this film.
Documentary film And Miles to Go Before I Sleep tells the story of a runaway migrant worker killed during a confrontation with police in 2017. Nguyen Guofi was shot 9 times in just 12 seconds by an officer after apparently resisting arrest. But the film's director Tsai Tsung-lung believes the real reason behind the killing is systematic discrimination in Taiwanese society.
我都觉得2017年那个就是一个总爆发，就是已经就是累积的那个误解或歧视或不了解，已经到一个点了，才会爆发出一个菜鸟警察，然后把他打死，然后其他人也都好像视若无睹那样。那个是一个整个集体社会心理的反应，然后它就是对移工的一种压迫的一种总爆发。它可能是很极端，但它绝对不是个案。那因为它不是个案，所以我才必须要把它做到纪录片里面。
The story is told from 2 perspectives. Tsai tries to piece together the truth of what happened on that fateful day, while Nguyen's story is told in his own words through writings he left behind.
对我来讲，我只能说，我觉得没有改变，所以我要继续做下去。那到底有没有抱希望？没有特别抱什么希望，对。但是如果说我看了那样的，我了解那样的事件，我看那样密录器，我不做的话，我良心不安。
Taiwan first began importing migrant workers in the 1990s. Today, there are over 700,000 in the country. In that time, there have been countless stories of exploitation and abuse against migrant workers. Tsai hopes that audiences who watch this film won't stand by any longer.
所以即使这个片子只是阮国威的一个墓志铭，我觉得也没关系。就是如果做个比喻来讲，这个墓志铭是震耳欲聋的墓志铭，它吵到让你台湾观众没办法安心。这样。
While Tsai admits that his film is unlikely to bring immediate change, he hopes that story of the 27-year-old will start an important conversation about the treatment of migrant workers. Asnaya Zhou and Eugene Huang for TaiwanPlus.
A village in central Taiwan's Yilan County is using AR to breathe new life into an old factory site. Jeremy Oliver has more.
Eye-catching decorations, just one part of a project by the Yilan County government to boost local tourism. This nature park is built on the site of an old paper mill. Visitors to the ruins can now experience the local ecology with the help of augmented reality. All they need is a smartphone.
我们是透过 AR 或者虚拟的方式，用手机去扫描，就可以看到我们蝴蝶在纸浆巢外面，还有里面翩翩挥舞的样子。
Even though the insects are not real, that hasn't dimmed visitors' excitement.
感觉很神奇呀，就好像真的有蝴蝶在那边飞舞。
This mill was once a major paper producer in Taiwan, but after closing over 20 years ago, it became increasingly run down. The local government decided it was time for a change. It pulled together nearly $260,000 in public funds to transform the site into a unique recreational space.
只有一个林内驿站，只有一个大棚架，只有几个纸浆草，它缺乏观光的亮点，所以希望呢，透过县府的一些资源，把这边再造这边的一个观光亮点出来。
The local officials didn't do it on their own. They were joined by 5 artists who took up residence at the old mill to assist with the park's creation.
以在地的生态为元素来这种的创作。那后续我们也包含我们的导览解说的设置，跟我们的网站建构、AR 的建构，跟我们的地景艺术的照明设置也都会一并的完成。
Yilan County has plans for a second and third phase of the project. Officials say they hope the park will help visitors gain a deeper understanding of the area's diverse wildlife and natural scenery. Howard Zhang and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Dwight Howard's keenly awaited debut in Taiwan's T1 Basketball League took place on Saturday. Our reporter Leslie Liao was at the game to capture fan reactions and see how Howard did in his first time on a court in Taiwan.
It's finally here. Taiwanese basketball fans have been waiting for this day for weeks. NBA champion and 8-time All-Star Dwight Howard is about to play his first game in the Taiwan T1 Professional Basketball League. You can feel the energy and excitement. It's safe to say it's a historic day for basketball in Taiwan.
It's hard to put into words just how many people turned out for this game. The arena was packed well before tip-off. The Dwight Howard effect was in full swing. There were posters and cardboard cutouts of him all over the venue. Fans showed up wearing Howard's jerseys, showing him nothing but love.
就是非常兴奋啊！毕竟他是一个 NBA 球星，那他竟然会来台湾来打球，我觉得这是一个很不可思议的事情。
我希望他至少可以拿下这个联盟的 MVP， 我觉得这是他应该要做到的事情，而且他也有实力做到这样的事情。
Howard got off to a bit of a slow start in the first half of the game. His team, the Taoyuan Leopards, trailed their opponents, the new Taipei City DEA, by as many as 27 points. But Howard's fans did not give up their faith.
觉得他还没拿出他的实力来，很希望看到他赶快暴扣。
因为我想他毕竟是刚加入球队，那可能还需要跟队友磨合。
我觉得还没打开，看下半场。
Boy, did those fans have the right hunch. Howard came up huge for his team, dominating the last half of the game.
豪文拿球在外围，郑文典来守他，这边过掉了，踩进来，用左手上了得分。Dwight Howard 来到台湾第一场比赛的第一个 field goal。豪尔，我现在不采取包夹的一个方式啊，让他投了这一个中路的机会 for three， 也是他在台湾 T1 联盟的第一颗三分球。
The Leopards came back and beat their opponents 120 to 115.
还有3分37秒钟的时间，想做一个阿里乌给热度，哇！全场已经坐不住，站起来了。
Howard scored 38 points, got 25 rebounds, and made 9 assists, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. Those are some staggering numbers for his first game. But what did Dwight Howard think?
Pretty fun. It's my first game.
in a long time where I've got a chance to, shoot the ball, get touches and stuff like that. So I'm really appreciative to the coach and the rest of my teammates for just trusting me.
A basketball player of Dwight Howard's caliber coming to Taiwan is not only about being able to see a superstar play ball. It also invigorates Taiwan's professional basketball environment and hypes the fans. Most importantly, though, it might pave the way for more NBA players to come to Taiwan, because Dwight Howard is quickly becoming a spokesperson for the country's basketball scene.
I've had an amazing time here, and I'm pretty sure any player from any state, any country, any continent that comes to Taiwan is going to have an amazing time. So whatever we can do to make this league better, whatever we can do to get more players to come and not be afraid and realize that basketball and the love of basketball can be played anywhere.
Andy Xue and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of Iranian artist Gal Nazpati's work on show in New York, transforming traditional calligraphy with her art. I'm Betty Chen. Take care and see you next time.